Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Tuesday, August 31st at 2:28 p.m. here in sunny California. We got a lot to talk about here. Just kind of checking in on the progress of the crypto market, the progress of Bitcoin and other assets we're going to look at today. Before I begin, I'd like to ask you to join my free Discord group if you're interested in ideas, information, and interactions with other investor traders such as yourself. There's a link in the description to join that Discord group. Love to have you there. All right, let's jump into this Bitcoin chart. As I've been saying, I'm expecting a retest of this line here somewhere around $40,000. The question is, what is the evidence for that? As you can see, we are strongly above the 21-day EMA. Why will we not bounce off the 21-day EMA and just keep moving up? Well, we might very well bounce off the 21-day EMA. I'm expecting at least a wick down to about the $40,000 mark. One thing that I'm beginning to see in the charts is that there's a lot of bearish divergence. So this is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. And if you look all the way back here, you made a lower high, and we hit that resistance level all the way up there. So it looks like what we're doing on the weekly chart of Bitcoin is we're making a triangle here, basically a wedge, right? So if I take this one and pull it back to here, or even maybe just move it there, you can see what I'm talking about, that from this moment, the RSI has been in a bearish progression, and this goes all the way back to December or January of 2021, January of this year. We've been in this kind of bearish RSI that's taken a lot longer than we expected. I thought we would have broken out of it by now, but if you look at the same period, starting here, we're making higher highs in the price action until we got here, and then the price action started to follow the RSI. Now, if we look kind of at the pinnacle of what's happened in the price action there, we see that we've actually broken above the trend in terms of price. Now we need a concomitant breakout in the RSI along with the price. On the weekly, we've got a bullish break in the MACDs. The MACDs have not been bullish since April, but the MACDs have broken out bullish here on the weekly charts. But we need the RSI to break above that line. And but the RSI is pointing down. So that means we might have a few more weeks of kind of maybe bouncing off this line again before we break out, or at least coming back to the middle of this range again before we break out. We will see. Now, looking at the daily chart of Bitcoin, this looks like a bear flag. If you kind of look at what we're doing here, we're just kind of bouncing around in this range here. I'm expecting us to break down bearish out of this trend and retest this box area here. But once again, on the daily chart, looking at the RSI, we're seeing something similar as we saw on the weekly chart as well. The RSI, we're seeing bearish divergence again, and this goes back to July 30th. We peaked out on the RSI there on July 30th, and it's been lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high ever since, even though in the price action we're seeing higher high, higher high, higher high. And so now we're starting to see lower highs. It simply means that the price action perhaps is catching up. Or what we could see is we bounce off this line again, come back and retest the top around our target before we break down again and come into this region. So I do believe we are going to definitely break out again. It just might take a little while. In other words, if we might come back down and test this line before we break out. We might come back and retest this line and then come down and test this line before we break out. I don't really know, but seeing this bearish divergence in the RSI, it does mean that we're not going to see a major breakout imminently. It's not going to happen in a matter of days. It'll probably take a matter of weeks before we see a real breakout for Bitcoin. And that goes for the rest of the crypto market as well. I'm looking at Litecoin here, and I'm seeing bearish divergence in the RSI. Once again, we're making lower highs in the RSI while we were making higher highs here in the price action. So the price action makes it look like it's moving upward, but if you look at the RSI, we're clearly moving downward. Oops. And so if we do something like that, you can see that the RSI is going to have to break out of this trend in one direction or another. We've got bearish MACDs here. So that simply means, I'm very bullish on Litecoin for this year. But looking at this bearish divergence on the Bitcoin chart and seeing it again on the Litecoin chart, it means it's not going to happen quickly. It's not going to happen like in the next few days or in the next few minutes. I think we're going to break down beneath this line at some point. I thought we were breaking down beneath it yesterday, but we bounced off of that trend line there. But at a certain point, whether or not we revisit the top of this trend line first, I believe we have to come back down and break beneath this line and come back and retest this area before we move on. And so what Litecoin could look like is something like this before we break out of here. We shall see. This is all speculation. All right, that's enough for today. We are turning bullish here on the weekly, and the RSI has turned around on the weekly chart and started to move in a bullish direction. Overall, I think the bull market is strong. It's just taking time. You've got to be patient. You've got to be patient in this crypto market. Stuff moves a lot slower than you think it moves. We're always thinking the crypto market is lightning fast. Everything happens lightning fast because it's so volatile. But don't allow the volatility to fool you into thinking that this market is lightning fast, because in actuality, this market moves slowly in one sense and quickly in another sense, and it rewards patience. All right, in some videos to come, I'm going to look at some of the altcoins, the ones that I think are going to do the best tomorrow. I expect to put that video out, so stay tuned. Don't get caught slipping. Don't sleep on some of these assets that I'm going to tell you about tomorrow. In the meantime, do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, drop me a comment. Let me know if you like the content that I provide. And above all else, do everything in your power to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.